I'm so tired, man. I'm so tired. Oh, what a night. What a night. I mean, I just want to do this video really just to kind of get everything out there, really, kind of just say how I'm feeling, because yeah, I think there's a lot of emotions. I went from hatred, like genuine hatred of everything, to I don't even know what it was, like confusion, but also euphoria, but also anger still. Right now, I've slept on it. I was gonna do a video last night, but I was like, I'm too emotional, I'm too conflicted, I'm too, it was gonna be a messy one. So I thought, you know what, I'd sleep on it, and I'd wake up and I'd see how I feel then. And honestly, I don't feel much different. But I think I know why I feel the way I do. So let's start with the positives. We are still in the Europa League. We had a great comeback from 2-0 up to 2-2 to 4-2, then to 5-4 in about 10 minutes. Genuinely, and this is why I love football. This is the beauty of Man United. No other club can do that, and I fully believe that. No other club has the mentality or the urge to do that. Granted, it was against Lyon, so not exactly the best team in the world. Plus, they were down to like 10 men as well. So there is a caveat. I feel, but still, what a win! What drama! Pure, just like I said, it was euphoric, and yeah. Our season is still here. We need the Europa League, So as of right now, we are still hanging in there, still. But you know me, I like to look at the bigger picture. I like to ask the questions I don't think people do ask. So, I would love to say that I was jumping for joy and I was screaming and I was crying but I wasn't, I genuinely wasn't. I was, as soon as we scored and it became 4-4, I knew we'd won it. Because this is what we do. This is what we do. We always pull it back. Whether we should or shouldn't, whether we deserve it or not, we always pull it back. That's what we do. It feels like almost we do it out of pure spite, almost like spite of ourselves. Because let's not get it twisted. There are many problems with this club, and they were shown a lot last night. We fumbled a 2-0 lead to go 2-2, then to go 4-2. If this was any other club, like, they'd be screaming, robbery, or you got given 2 penalties, whatever. And maybe that's the truth, But yeah, it's one of the things where, to me, I would love to kind of be here and say, if we, come on, United. I would love to say that. I genuinely would, but that would be fake of me. That would make me a fake fan, which I am not a fake fan. I love this club. I hold a lot of pride and weight and emotion in this club. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. Because at 4-2, I genuinely fell out of love with this club. You know? And in a way, you know, I've always said with this club, what would you rather have? Would you rather have us kind of just be up and down, inconsistent, unreliable, or would you rather have us just be down all the time? But at least if we're down, the only way is up, and also it's a true reflection of us as a team and a club. What would you rather have? You know, I think my biggest point is, don't let last night distract you from the facts and the opinions that we were saying, that we've been on about for years. Certain players aren't good enough. I can appreciate them, and you know, I will commend them and I'll shake their hand and whatever, right? You know, but they can't be a part of our future. They can't be, you know? And I'm not trying to spread any you know, negativity. I'm just saying the truth that we've been saying over the last 3 to 4 years, especially over the last 3 to 4 months, you know? Don't let this one night define this season. We are 14th in the fucking league. We are, you know, one bad game away from our season. It's done. It is over. You know, if we'd won 2-0, then honestly, I'd be happier, because we won 2-0. We cruised through and we beat them. But no, 2-0, 2-2, 4-2, 5-4. You know, I'm stressed out. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. You know, it just got me asking, like, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it? Because we know what happens next. We know what happens next. You know, it's back to reality. You know, it's back to the Prem. You know, it's back to the same stuff. You know, in a week's time, this won't mean shit. In a week's time, this win will not mean shit. That is a fact, because it'll be a different thing. It'll be a different issue. You know what I'm saying? And it's just me personally, and this is me speaking, me, Connor Devlin speaking, as a fan, I don't trust this club. I don't trust some of these players. I don't trust the owners of this club. So it is hard for me to emotionally invest in the great times, in the good days, which there aren't many of, but it is hard for me to invest when I see the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? This win won't mean anything if we lose to Bilbao, or if we lose to Spurs. It won't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? The job is not done. There are still games to be played. You know? So that's really what I want to say. you know. And don't get me wrong, it was magical. It was genuinely, it was pure bliss. But at the same time, I know people won't talk about the negatives, because there were negatives. You don't concede you don't lose a 2-0 lead and then go 4-2 down just out of pure, unlucky, whatever. Whatever. No, that is a reflection of how shit we are. But us coming back 5-4 is proof of how, I don't know what it is. Is it a mentality thing? I don't think it is. I think it's an ability thing, because we have always had the ability to do this. This is what we do. We have always had the ability to win, almost almost to spite us. This is what we do, and and I think it's funny, because it feels like, if we'd lost that game, oh my god, we will be genuinely staring into an oblivion. We would be it would be probably the darkest day as a fan I've ever had. So the fact that we were a minute or 2 minutes away from that, don't forget that. That was our reality. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget that. That could still be our reality in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget that. The job it isn't done yet. And people will say, plastic fan or whatever, or he's spreading, negativity. No, I'm just saying what I've seen over the last 10 years, pretty much. In fact, I feel like if all you want is positivity and whatever, I think that makes you the plastic fan. I'm a fan of this club. This badge, wait a minute. This badge, it means something. It means something to me, and I want this club to be great, consistently great. I don't mean every now and then. I don't mean one big win every season. I mean consistently great. I want us to win. I want this win in 5 years' time to mean fuck all, because I want to win Premier Leagues. I want to win Champions Leagues. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want in 5 years' time this win to just be another win. It is just another win, because since then we have just gone whoosh. We have just. But here's the thing: is it going to happen? Because you look at the facts, you look at our owners, you look at the team, and this is why a part of me almost feels like maybe we deserved to lose, in a sense of, if we lose, it exposes a lot of people who deserve to be exposed, and it creates a need for real change. Does this win inspire a real change, or does it extend a lot of people's lifelines at this club? That is the question. I think for us fans, it is a distraction. It is a memory. There are people who this will live with them forever, and that is amazing. And I wish I was there. I genuinely do. You know, but I've always looked at the bigger picture, and with this club, you need to look at the bigger picture. You need to look 2 months into the future, because if you don't, then you're gonna get hurt. I know I've been there. I've been hurt too many times by this club. So me personally, I just don't know if I can get, you know, proper and fully invested and excited when in 2 weeks' time we could be out. You know, and once again, it's not about being out. It's about no Europe. If we lose this game, if we lose in the next round, which I predicted we will, I know. If we lose, we're done. Financially, we are done. Amorim may as well just leave now if he loses, because he's done. You know? And it's like, we were minutes away from that being the case last night. Too fucking close. Where I don't know if it's worth getting happy about, because it's only going to get harder. You know, it's only going to get harder. Imagine if Lyon hadn't gone down to 10 men. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine a penalty wasn't awarded. You know, there are so many buts and what ifs, and you know, once again, what's happened is in the past. But all I ask, and all I want, and all I'm going to do as a fan is just look into the future and look at, but what next? You know, but what next? And yeah, there's a lot of emotions. Like I said, a part of me, I'm happy. A part of me is sad, because I'm almost sad because I know what happens next. Because that's how low my hope and my belief is in this club. And that's not me just being a negative guy. I'm a realistic guy. I always, you know, that is just me. I am a realist, and I look at this club and I look at the team and I look at everything, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty shit. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the PR and the media and some of the players, don't let that trick you. We are 14th in the league. That isn't that isn't it's just a, you know, it's just a bad season. No, that is where we belong to be. That is where we are. That is a reflection of this team. Okay, this has been a long time in the works, you know, because every year or every few years we have fallen more and more and more and more, and this this is the proof. So yeah, a part of me is angry because we never should have been in this position to go from 2-0 to 2-2 to 4-2. We never should have been there. You know, what happens if we do that again against Bill Bauer, who are a better team? Well, then what happens? Exactly. Last night could have been all for nothing, and if it was, it would have been a dark, probably the darkest day I've ever experienced as a fan of this club. And when I say a fan, I don't just mean putting on a United shirt and screaming and crying, you know, no matter what. You know, when I say fan, I mean I'm able to praise, and I'm also able to criticize, and I'm also able to look at the full picture. And I also want this club to be great consistently. You know, that's the word here. Consistently. You know? We got battered by Newcastle on the weekend, and then we do this. This weekend, we could lose, win or draw. Duh. But all I want is consistency. If we lose on the weekend, this win means nothing. You know, if we lose in the next round, this win means nothing. It's not about the now, it's about the future. You know? That's what I've got to say. And when I look at this team, once again, don't get it twisted. This team isn't good enough. And you've seen it. We have seen this. You know? Players need to be sold. Players need to be replaced. Don't get it twisted. You know? That win last night was for us fans. It wasn't for them, it was for us fans. You know? So yeah, man, that's really all I've got to say. If you want to call me a fake fan or whatever, go ahead. I don't care. You know? I want this club to be great, consistently great. And I want us to win. I genuinely do. I want us to win the Europa League. You know? But at the same time, you know, I would love it if in 5 years' time we can look back on that night, on this match, and say that was the beginning. That was the beginning of a revolution. That was the catalyst. But we've been here before. We said that about Man City. We said that about Ten Hag and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And look what happened there. Those are bigger matches. Those are bigger wins. And those weren't the catalysts. So what is this then? What is this then? That's my question. You know? So yeah. That's really it. Is this the catalyst? In my opinion, I really want it to be. I really want it to be the catalyst, but I have very little faith in the players, and I have no faith in the owners of this club. So, you know, it's weird. In a way, you've got to take it really day by day and game by game, but as a fan and a player, you've got to look at it in 2 months' time, you know? So, yeah. We're still in Europe. Our dreams are still alive. Just here's hoping, and all I want now is just to perform well. That's all I want. Just to perform well. And please, don't make this all for nothing. Please.